This is Cameron with Big Y Fly Company, and we're here today to talk and demonstrate spey casting. We're going to show you how it's done right, which you saw in the intro with, are you world famous yet? Or local legend, Andy Peralt, is going to instruct me in the roll cast is where we're going to start. So a little backstory, I've been a left-handed caster for 40 plus years. Spey casting left-handed for 10 plus years, and my left shoulder doesn't want to do it anymore. After about a half hour fishing, I'm in pain. So I think my easiest fix will be to learn how to cast right-handed. So instead of trying to reverse everything in my brain, I'm going to start from scratch and hopefully eliminate some bad habits I picked up along the way.
Okay. So all we're going to do is try to roll. Okay. What we're trying to do is create that level plane. If you're just doing a roll cast single hand, that rod tip is coming up and is going straight back, and then it's turning around and going straight forward. Right. And so we're trying to create that on with this too. Your rod tip ends at the end there. It's much lower than when you started. So you have to find, see right about there, George Cook would say is shotgun height.
That level?
Yeah, right about there, and you'll feel your comfortable spot. And you want that rod tip to come all the way back and then want it to go straight forward. And you want to do one complete motion, like the rod never stops.
So that was too far forward.
A little too far forward. So go ahead and be comfortable and bring that rod down. Okay. So when you lift up, try there and try swinging the rod around that way. Yep. Okay.
That was kind of a sloppy mess.
It's okay. So when casts happen, I mean, you're working on one part, and sometimes you break your cast down in order to build it back up. And so a lot of times your cast starts looking worse than you thought it did, but eventually it'll put itself together. You're gonna try using a little bit of your bottom hand because this is a lever motion. Okay. So right now you're using all top hand. So when you come back, that bottom hand should be out and the top hand should be back, but I want you to see where your rod tip is here. Yeah. So when you're going to come forward, there's only one motion you can do, and that's the hammer. But instead, you want to be able to go straight. But the way your arm is here.
Okay, what's wrong with my arm right now?
So it needs to be out and down. This one needs to come down. And so when you lever, it's going to be going straight forward. As of right now, when you lever, you're going to be moving it one way or the other. You want to fulcrum around the center of the rod. So, okay.
Was that half decent?
It was, yeah.
It looked half decent.
What matters is that you got it out there,
right.
And that's the important thing. So you're coming a little bit too far back right now. It's the same 11 and 1 o'clock that you do, but you're coming back and then dropping, and it's what everybody does. They come back and it looks good, and then they drop it. Right. And then that creates that hammer motion. Right there, and you got right to that spot and just a little bit of a drop on that. Okay. So go forward, and by increasing your speed where you come back, it won't give you time to drop it. So go. There you go. See, and you're coming a little too far forward right there, but the timing on the back's better. Comfortable.
It's amazing how hard this is on the opposite way.
And screw your thumb up there, yeah.
Everything that's instinctual, I don't have on this side.
Yeah, coming along already.
Yeah.
You're moving the arms a little bit too much because when you end up out here, just this fulcrum motion right there, the lever, just like that. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So that's the most basic thing right there is getting right here. Yep. You're pulling with your bottom hand and you're pushing with your top hand almost equally.
Okay, well I didn't bring waders, so I'm cold, but I do feel like I have something I can practice on. What I want you to do is to do what I was doing wrong and then show the correction.
But one of the most common things that you were doing is you're coming back here, and instead of going forward here, see how I'm in a nice level plane? You're coming back here and then dropping it, and which forces that to happen. So when you come back, I like to keep my thumb off of it right here, because then that forces me to really turn around and use the lever motion to come back. And all your power is in your bottom hand. The right hand, the top hand, is just really control and accuracy and keeping the rod in the right spot. And so when I come up, I'm going to start at the bottom, you know, when I'm done fishing my cast, I swung it in, I raise it up to shotgun level here, come straight back and straight forward. And my rod tip starts and stops in the same spot up here. And you're going to hit that. It's like throwing a dart. You come back and you go straight forward, or hit, you know, I was saying the hammer motion earlier, but if you're hitting a hammer, hitting a nail straight in front of you, it's the same thing, that you got to go straight at it and popping it at the end. So you come back. And it doesn't matter where the line lands, as long as you go forward as soon as the line hits the water. So you can drag it, and that's fine, or you can break the water tension completely and just go forward as soon as it hits. And that we're going to worry about when and where the anchor lands later, because all we want to do now is just get the line going forward in one straight motion. So when I come too far back, and you can tell if your bottom hand is getting anywhere near where your top hand is, it should always be underneath. And they say a D loop, but the straight part of a D is like that. Really, you need to be angled a little bit and create this loop behind you. You know, the big things are lifting that and starting where you want that rod tip to end, where you can go back and forth, and using your bottom hand to get the motion you want. So if you use your top hand too much, then you end up out there. And if you're doing that, then you're doing something wrong. So it has to be a nice tight position in here.
All right, so there you have lesson 1. Pretty much just working on roll casting. I will take the rod and work on it the next week or two and come back with Andrew and see if I have progressed, and we'll go on to lesson 2. So the main points to take from this are your starting and stopping points of your rod and your cast, and using your bottom hand as a fulcrum, which is where you generate your power.